on today because clearly the labour market has changed, Nick.
It has, yeah. It's changed dramatically. I didn't think we'd see 1 million jobs being out there, and we do get a lot of people coming to us saying we can't fill these positions. Can you help us? And what we can do is we can get the jobs seen everywhere and try and get them the candidates. Obviously, then it's down to them to pick out the right ones and the best fit for the business. As we've been saying for weeks now, some of the jobs you just can't fill them. I don't know where lorry drivers have gone and chefs have gone, but we're seeing now. Was it McDonald's today? No more milkshakes.
That was the big news, I think, of the day.
It was for a
McDonald's
lot of people.
cannot get milkshakes.
Yeah.
And I sat there driving past McDonald's. I was going past a place called Sleaford, and I looked at it and I thought, I can't get a milkshake from there today. They can't get hold of them. And obviously, McDonald's has actually got its own fleet.
Well, yeah, they've got all the infrastructure, and if they're
You've got the,
struggling, you know,
which when
well,
you've got your own fleet is a completely different ball game.
yeah, yeah.
Um, what other areas are struggling that you know of then?
Well, I shouted across to my neighbour who retired about 4 months ago as a lorry driver and asked him if he was going back in to help them out. And he said, no, he says, I didn't like the fact that we were working all those hours. And he said, and Luan, I don't know if you're aware, you're maybe not a drinking man, but he said the John Smiths were thinking of going on strike, the lorry drivers, for better conditions. I mean,
And that's the brewery.
that's the big brewery, yeah. So, I mean, that's,
Wow.
again, another major employer. But it's all to do with conditions. People have realised, I think, last year, that there is a difference to working 6, maybe 7 hours a week, days a week.
Yeah.
And a work-life balance has become something that people are craving a bit more. So I think the job market's suffering from that a bit. I think people are thinking, hang on a minute, I'll hold back and I might just find something, that might just suit me better for, fitting in with the family.
In some instances, you could argue it's an employee market in some contexts at the moment.
It is,
And
yeah.
it's a long while since we've got that. But you have to have the skills.
Yeah, you've still got to have the skills. You can't rest on your laurels, and because it's a market that is buoyant, you've got to make sure that you're going to get seen. So your CV has to stand out. If
Yeah.
you put a covering letter in there, you have to make it relevant to the role that you're looking for. So, it's a challenge, but there are certain things that you can do to make sure that you're going to be ahead of the market with it. And again,
So, which job, which jobs are most in demand at the moment?
it's still your warehousing and your logistics. They're massive, still massive at the moment. The care sector, if you're thinking of getting into that, I mean, it's a fantastic profession. We've got quite a few big care providers across the UK that are coming to us and using us because we're getting, the candidate numbers.
Right.
And that is a fantastic profession to be in.
Is that just the basic carer or is that the skilled carer?
All throughout, to be honest. Yeah. So, there'll be people who have actually moved up naturally throughout the period of the pandemic, and possibly with the having to share responsibilities. Some people that were maybe on the lower grade, because there were only a certain amount of people allowed in to work at one time, and others had to be away. They've added some more senior skills to what they do. So it has left a bit of a void at the lower level, but
Yep.
still there are the higher jobs as well, because some of those people have maybe naturally gone on to other things. We've seen the self-employed sector rise. I think that will maybe level back down again. I would think that we'll maybe see, I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, but I always like to see people taking that challenge to go self-employed. And when I hear that someone's had to go back to full-time employment, it's a bit of a, it's not nice to see, but sometimes it's the best thing for them to do. It is a challenge being self-employed, and you tend to have to be a jack of all trades. But there is help and support for those people as well. I mean, I know quite a lot of people who now do the virtual assistant roles. They'll do virtual bookkeeping roles. There's businesses that will come in and be your sales force for you. So there's all this kind of remote working, which again is providing new employment for people. You've got CRM experts who'll come in and will streamline your business and make it more user friendly and engage you more better with your audience. So there's some really good skills and talent coming from that. Web design, I think you'll echo this. There's some really talented people that have come out, and I mean, I don't think there was the kind of talent around in it, and it's come on leaps and bounds, I think, in the last few years.
It's interesting you say that. There's two aspects to that. I mean, I'm dealing with a couple of people at the moment. One who's offered me quite an attractive package, but the actual whole side of software website development is changing very, very quickly, and the options are changing. And I also noted that on the BBC last week, this is what I put a live recording of myself talking about it. There was a demand for photographers, digital marketing, and farming. And obviously the farming didn't dawn on me. We're smack bang in harvesting time now.
Yeah. And the labour force has naturally been, Eastern Europeans, people like that. They've come across and they'll work from sun up to sundown. They've really got a great work.
They would do if they didn't have the tests that also have to be undertaken to travel up. So if you haven't got many skills, it's an opportunity to actually say, well, hang on a minute, what can I do? And one of the things that can be done is to look at the agricultural field, and certainly in Lincolnshire where I am, and I'm sure it'll be probably the same in your area, the agricultural workers are out there.
Yeah, well, I'm from Lincolnshire. I lived on 3 farms when I was younger. Often helped out with seasonal stuff, strawberry picking, things like that. And it is a good way to get that good work ethic going when I can get my teeth in. And like we said before, employers looking at somebody who's maybe in between secondary school and going to further education, if they can see that you've put some hard graft in, doing some manual work and earning a little bit of money, they're going to think, hang on, yeah, there is a work ethic here. And it's another tick in the box then. You've not just been sat on a sun lounger listening to a bit of music and playing your mum and dad up the wall a bit. You've actually got out there and done some work. So again, fantastic opportunities.
Yes. So which areas would you recommend at the moment if you're just looking for a job now, and we are smack bang in the school leaver stroke I'm starting a new life month, I would argue, because a lot of the kids have left school.
Yeah, I mean, it is difficult. I mean, I don't know if the schools are still pushing for further education, but I do know that when mine left school, which now is coming up for around about 12, 13 years ago, there was a big push into further education, which is all well and good, but it doesn't suit everybody. And I think nowadays, if you look at the job market, there's so many organizations that are set up to actually give you that on-site learning, and they'll also give you some paid stuff as well with employers. I've been speaking to somebody today, and they've got a scheme, for people who've been unemployed for 12 to 18 months, where they'll actually fund through an employer, through a government scheme, to get people back into work. And again, it might just be something that is a temporary measure, but it's keeping you busy, it's keeping some money coming in, and it's keeping your opportunities open, that you might just see something else in your normal day-to-day. And like we're advocates of networking. We're always keeping our ear to the ground and listening what everybody else is doing. And we're always there to help, share and support. I had somebody today said, we know somebody who wants to get into the world of estate agency, but she's only really young and not got the experience. I said, well, get her down to our networking organisation. And you know me, that's the first thing I'm always going to say. And she says, well, she'll maybe not want to stand up and speak. I said, well, she doesn't have to. But if she sees how businesses work closely together, how things gel and how one business can lead into another one, then, you maybe think, well, hang on a minute, then if I start working for a mortgage company, that might lead into estate agency in a later life. If I start speaking to somebody who does life insurance, maybe a business that does that, even working from the ground up, going in there as a junior administrator and then working through and then getting onto the housing side of things. It all seems, it all flows better then.
One of the things that I remember very well was James Reed, who's the chairman of the Reed Recruitment and what have you. He turned around and said you can learn an awful lot by going on YouTube and exploring what people are taught on YouTube. And you can learn a lot about different vocations, different types of work, just by going on YouTube and doing a search. And generally speaking, most business skills and job roles have some sort of feature on that particular platform explaining more about that job.
Yeah, I did that only a few weeks ago. I went on there and there was a TED talk. I'd never really experienced TED talks before, but it was really concise and precise and straight to the point. And I made quite a few notes out of it. And then I did a presentation on the back of it, and it went down ever so well. So, yeah, I use YouTube for my music because I love music.
Go on, Nick. Let the secret out. What music are you into?
Oh, all kinds. Because my daughter's a 1940s singer, it's anything really from the 20s right through to, your loudest rock and roll that you're ever going to hear. So.
I'm thinking Glenn Miller, but there you go. We're of a certain age, aren't we, Nick?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I had to fix a washing machine a few months ago. Where do you go? YouTube.
Yeah.
Like you say, it's there,
I spend more time watching YouTube than I do the TV.
Yeah.
So it's just, for me, it's YouTube most of the time, learn stuff constantly, and then at weekends I actually turn the TV on.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to pause the streaming there